الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. أما بعد, we'll continue our class and going through the book al-Ajub al-Wadi'iyya على الأسئلة النسائية, the answers of Sheikh Muqbil bin Hadi al-Wad'i rahimahullah on questions from the women and questions concerning women matters. ولازلنا في باب ما يتعلق بالفتاوى المتعلقة بالمرأة الحائض والحامل والنفساء. We're still in the chapter regarding verdicts connected to the matters of the women who are in their menses, who are pregnant, also who are in their bleeding after giving birth. تقول السائلة: امرأة يأتيها دم 3 أيام في البداية قبل أيام الحيض المعروفة عندها، ثم ما يأتي دم الحيض إلا بعد 3 أيام، فماذا تعمل في هذه الأيام؟ عفوا، ليس هذا الموضوع الذي وصلنا إليه، وإنما إلى سؤال آخر. Sorry, I made a mistake in the question that we have reached. وصلنا إلى قول السائلة: امرأة كانت حائضة وطهرت وبعد 6 ساعات وبعد أن جامعها زوجها رجعت الحيضة، فماذا تعمل? So the question was, a woman, she had her menses, and then she saw that her menses ended, she became pure from her menses, and then 6 hours later, after her husband actually had a relationship with her, she saw her menses come back. What does she do? قال الشيخ رحمه الله: إن كانت عادتها 6 أيام وتلك العادة مثلها 6 أيام فلا تلتفت إلى هذا الذي ظهر. يعني إذا أتمت الأيام أيام عادتها المعتادة. So the Sheikh rahimahullah, he said, basically, if she, for example, that her menses in general is, say, 6 days, and then So the question is, a woman who was on her menses, she became pure, and then 6 hours later she saw the bleeding after her husband had a relationship with her. So if her menses in general, for example, was 6 days, she usually gets her menses for 6 days, and then she becomes pure and finishes her menses after that. And this bleeding that she saw afterwards was past the days of her menses. So, say her menses was 6 days, so it was 6 days later that she saw that she became pure and her menses has ended, and then she started bleeding again. قال فلا تلتفت إلى هذا الذي ظهر. So she should not pay attention to that new bleeding that she saw. إلا أن يتكرر 3 عادات. يعني الشيخ يقول أنه إذا تكرر 3 عادات صار هذا جزءا من حيضتها. So the Sheikh rahimahullah said, unless this repeats and this happens 3 times, 3 months, 3 consecutive months, meaning that if she was to start seeing this, she finishes her menses and the bleeding stops, and then a few hours later she bleeds a little, then the Sheikh rahimahullah, what he is saying is that her menses became actually, this became a part of her menses. If she sees it 3 consecutive months, then she should consider that her menses is like that. The bleeding stops and then it comes back. قال إلا أن يتكرر 3 عادات فينظر أهو يتكرر وقتا قصيرا وهو دم قليل فلا يضر. He said, so she should also look, is it just a little bit of blood for a short period of time? Then there's no harm. It is nothing. وإن كان كثيرا, if it was a lot of blood, فتعتبر الأيام المتخللة أيام حيض. She should consider the time, even if it is days, between the stop of her bleeding and then the return of this blood, she should consider it to be a part of her menses. Even those days in which she was not bleeding, she should consider them to be a part of her menses. If this repeats 3 times and it was a lot of blood, فلا تصلي فيها, so she should not pray during those days. ولا تصوم, she should not fast. قال يعني هنا يعني تكلم الشيخ رحمه الله قال: أخبرت أن بعض الخطباء في الحديدة كذب علينا، وقال مقبل بن هادي يأمر المرأة أن تقضي الصلاة ولا تقضي الصيام، قال فهذا كذب، وإلا فإن الأشرطة إلى آخره. يعني this is يعني هو يرد على شخص تكلم عنه وهذا لا دليل عليه، يعني طعن فيه وكذا. على كل حال الشيخ كما قال أنها تقضي الصلاة تقضي الصيام ولا تقضي الصلاة. نعم. So the Sheikh rahimahullah, he said of course in this case she should make up her fastings. If she was to break her fastings during those days, she makes them up, and of course she does not make up the prayer. And then the Sheikh rahimahullah, he refuted someone who made accusation against him that he commands the women who are on their menses to make up their prayers and not make up their fastings. Allahu alam who made this statement. And this is of course not the statement of the Shaykh rahimahullah. على كل حال. تقول السائلة: امرأة حاضت ثم طهرت وظهرت عليها علامة الطهر ولم تجد الماء الكافي للغسل، فهل تتيمم وتصلي؟ So a woman, she asked, she had her menses, and then she finished her menses and she became pure, and she has the signs of purity, and she was not able to find enough water to take the legislative bath. Is it permissible for her to perform dry ablution, to perform tayammum, and to pray? ثم يحل لزوجها منها أن يجامعها. يعني هذا جزء من السؤال: هل يحل لزوجها أن يجامعها? And then as a part of the question also, if she does so, يعني إذا تيممت, if she performs tayammum, dry ablution, is it permissible for her husband to have a relationship with her? وبعد إن جامعها زوجها ثم وجد الماء فهل عليها أن تغتسل للحيض ثم للجنابة، أو أن التيمم للحيض كاف وتغتسل من الجنابة فقط. So the question was, if her husband had a relationship with her and then they were able to find the water, does she perform a bath because of the hayd, the menses, the end of her menses, and then for her major states of impurity because of her relationship with her husband? أو أن التيمم للحيض كاف, or is tayammum for the finishing of her menses, is it sufficient, dry ablution? وتغتسل من الجنابة فقط, and that she should take a bath because of the major state of impurity, and that's it. قال الشيخ رحمه الله: إذا طهرت ولم تجد الماء فالتيمم كما يقول سبحانه وتعالى فلم تجد ماء فتيمموا. So he said, if she became pure from her menses and she was not able to find water, then tayammum suffices, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the meaning of the ayah. And if you were not able to find water, then perform dry ablution, perform tayammum. ويجوز أن تصلي وأن يأتيها زوجها, and it is in that case permissible for her to pray and for her husband to have a relationship with her. فإذا وجدت الماء تنوي بالغسل للحيض والجنابة ولا يكفي التيمم للحيض فإن التيمم الصحيح أنه مبيح وليس برافع. So the Shaykh rahimahullah, he said, if she finds water, then she should intend that she should take a bath, and her intent should be that it is for both her major state of impurity as well as for the end of her menses, because the people of knowledge, they say that tayammum makes things permissible and does not remove the state of impurity, or does not suffice as a removal of state of impurity. وعلى كل حال هذه مسألة خلافية، وشيخنا الشيخ عبد الرحمن العميسان حفظه الله تعالى وجزاه عنا خيرا يرجح أنها رافعة، أي أنها ترفع الحدث، أن التيمم أنه رافع، أنه يرفع الحدث، وليس أنه فقط مبيح لما يمنع منه. So anyways, this is a matter of disagreement between the people of knowledge. Our Sheikh, our noble Sheikh Abd al-Rahman al-Umaysan hafidhahullah, he actually says, he leans towards the opinion, and this wallahu alam is the stronger opinion, that dry ablution replaces taking a bath in regards to removing the state of impurity, not that it makes the actions permissible. There's a difference between the two, and the stronger opinion is that it replaces water and removing the state of impurity, whether because of the end of the menses or because of having a relationship with one's spouse or anything else. As long as the person cannot find water or is unable to use the water, then dry ablution replaces it. Wallahu a'lam. نعم. ونكتفي بهذا المقدار وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين.